Today, I'm going to give you 3 strategies that I personally use to balance my dream with my day job. First, let me tell you a little bit about what I do. So I've been in the restaurant industry for many, many, many years, and it's afforded me so much. It's allowed me to raise my kids. It's allowed me to support my wife while she's been in school. And I'm really grateful for the restaurant industry for providing that kind of life for me. And currently, I am a general manager of a barbecue restaurant in Santa Monica, California. I love this job so much. And let me tell you why. Not only does it afford me the ability to make films and do the things that I loved as my hobbies and as my side gig, but it also has afforded me the ability to stay in California. Because you see, when we first got here about a year ago, we had nothing. We had less than nothing. We were so poor that we were looking into homeless shelters because we didn't know if we could afford the next payment on the hotel that we were staying at. We were broke. And this went on for a couple of months. And finally, one person took a look at my resume, and he's the owner of Holy Cow Barbecue, and he took a chance on me and gave me this opportunity. And it's one that I'm not going to squander. It's one that I'm very, very grateful for. And without him and without this job and this place, I never would be able to stay in California doing what I love to do. So I'm eternally grateful for Holy Cow Barbecue and what it's afforded me in my life. Now, that being said, filmmaking is not a cheap hobby. It's not something that you do with very little and just in your side time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort to do film. And being able to be in a place that affords you the freedom to do that is it's just priceless. So with all that being said, and now knowing what I do for a living and how much I love my job, how do I balance my job with what I'm trying to do in film? So I have 3 strategies that I use that I want to share with you today. Okay. So strategy number 1. Make time for relationships. This is so important. Relationships are key to what you do in the film industry, whether it's networking, whether it's having a small group of supporters, whether it's just your family, your wife, your spouse, your kids, whatever it is, make time for those relationships. That's so important. I know that I personally would be nowhere without my wife. She is so supportive, so caring, and just allows me to do the things that I need to do. So when I have time, when I have free time, I want to make sure that I'm dedicating that to her, that I'm present with her. And so I make sure that I set aside that time every week, even if it's just going to the store together or running some errands or doing something like that. We're still together, spending that time, that quality time together. Relationships are everything in this industry. Don't neglect them. Make sure you spend time fostering those friendships and those connections that you had, because honestly, no one is going to work with you or fund or anything that you need if you don't build that kind of relationship. If you're just there for what you need and for what you want and for a leg up in the industry, nobody is going to pay you any attention. So build those relationships, foster those relationships, nurture those relationships, take time for relationships. Strategy number 2 is one that I'm stealing from somebody else. I heard this on a podcast. I can't find the podcast again. I'm so sorry. I believe it was the YouTube Creators Hub podcast, I believe is what it was. And I was listening to this gentleman on there, and very successful creator. And he said these words: self-care is a strategy. And I love that so much, and I want to credit you. So if it's you and you're watching this, I don't know where you would be, but if you are, please let me know that it was you that came up with that, because I thought that was so brilliant, that self-care is a strategy. It's not something that you have to do or you're forced to do. It's a strategy for long-term success in your life. Here's what I mean by that. Burnout is a real thing. I think I heard that 70 to 80% of filmmakers experience burnout on some level, and that's a ridiculous statistic. We all need to be taking care of ourselves, because if we don't, everything that we're working for isn't going to work. Your job isn't going to work. Your creativity isn't going to work. Nothing. Your relationships aren't going to work. Nothing's going to work if you burn yourself out. So please take care of yourself. And here's what that looks like practically. Yesterday was my day off from work. I had nothing to do. I was so excited for Creative Day, and I did do some creative thinking and some things like that, but I was going to film. I was going to do a lot of things, but I was listening to my body, and my body said, Jake, I think you need a little break. I think you need to take a little bit of time. And I did. And I relaxed. And this morning, I feel better than I have in like a week. And so I'm recording this morning and right before I go to work instead of yesterday. So I listened to my body. I took that time to self-care. And now I feel better and more energized to record this morning and to go to work and make an impact on my job as well. So self-care is not something that you have to put up with. It's a strategy for long-term success. All right, and here's a real practical one. Strategy number 3, time block your life. I time block everything, and it's so valuable in my life because not only does it allow me to see what I've got going on, but it allows me to move things around and make sure that there's time for everything that I needed to be time for. And what this means is that when I see that maybe I'm spending too much time in this area when I need to be pouring more time into these relationships. So it gives me a visual idea of what I'm doing with my day and with my week, and allows me to make adjustments as necessary in order to implement these strategies that I've just given you today. So what does that look like practically? I personally, I use a couple different calendar apps. And if you want to know what I use, that's cool. Just send me a message in the comments and I'll let you know what I use. I'm not being paid to sponsor anything here today. So I'm not going to really go into that. But I use Calendar. You can use your native app on your phone, whatever you want to use. And I go into every single day and I start blocking out what it is that I need to get done that day. Not necessarily on to-do list level, but I'll put like from 10 to 8 on that work. I know that I have a certain amount of commute. So when I get home, maybe I want to work a little bit on editing while I'm sitting on the couch with my wife watching a show. So I'll make that little time block in there as well. Maybe from 8 to 9, I'm going to do some editing. So time blocking out your life you start putting little pieces of things you want to do into the puzzle of your schedule. This is going to quickly show you whether you're stretched too thin, or maybe you can put a little bit more in there than you thought. You see, the excuse of I don't have enough time is so powerful, and it keeps us from doing so many different things. But when you start time blocking, you start realizing, well, I kind of do nothing during this hour in the morning. So maybe I can plug something in there, get a little something done, and start moving forward with my project. And so time blocking enables you to have freedom in your life. It allows you to look and see where are the gaps that I can fill and where are the gaps that I need to create in order to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and taking care of my relationships. So those are the 3 strategies that I personally use to help me balance what I'm doing at work, a job that I love and care very much about, and what I'm trying to create on the side. It's a very delicate balance, but it's one that I'm working hard on. It's one that I am committed to, and it's one that I think is very, very possible if you just follow those strategies. Maintain your relationships, make time for the people and the things that are important in your life. Self-care is a strategy for long-term success. So take care of yourself. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough rest, that you're eating, that you're hydrating, that you're doing all the things you need to do to stay healthy so that you can continue to create. And then time block your life. Get organized. I know that as creatives, a lot of times we don't like the organizational term. We want other people to do that for us. But I promise you, this is so important to make sure you have time for what you want to do. Don't let I don't have time be an excuse. Find the time for your relationships. Find the time for self-care, and find the time to create. Go out today and create something. Hey, leave a message in the comments. I'd love to hear from you what you're working on today. What strategies are you using to balance your job with your dream? Let me know.